Hey, I'm Double Crit Fail. I monetized my channel on July 22nd, 2025, and this video is about how much I've made in that first month since monetization. I make videos in the D&D and gaming space, so to use a bit of parlance, I'm going to give you a peek behind the screen to show you how well each video performed, how much they made, and then ultimately what I made in total. And this includes one video that went super viral, like hundreds of thousands of views, specifically 248,000 views in that first month. So just kind of think about how much a video like that might make in AdSense, come up with a number in your head, and we'll see how close or far you are. Now, my goal isn't to brag or anything like that. It's just to show how much I make as a smaller creator, and hopefully something like this is able to help my fellow creators as they take on their journey towards monetization, especially those within the tabletop role-playing space. So to give you a bit of background, I started my channel in May of 2021, and I have historically been very bad at uploading consistently. I have taken long sabbaticals as life has gotten in the way, and honestly, that's been the biggest reason why it took me 4 years to monetize, that inconsistent uploading schedule. Now, to become monetized, you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers and over 4,000 hours of watch time for a long-form creator. And I accrued those 1,000 subscribers after a video that went a bit viral. That was an Avengers parody in 2023. But I had a difficult time accruing those 4,000 hours because my uploads were so inconsistent. And it wasn't until maybe June of this year that I decided I really was going to commit to that weekly upload schedule. And once I did, after about a month, I finally had those 4,000 hours. So as I said, on July 22nd, 2025, I officially was accepted as a YouTube partner. And this is how those videos of the first month performed. Now, all the numbers I'm giving you are after the YouTube revenue split. YouTube takes 45 cents out of every dollar that you make in ad revenue. So keep that in mind as I give you these numbers. Let's start with my video backlog. I had around 28 videos that were long form previous to me becoming monetized. And rather than going through all of those individually, I will just group them all together and tell you that all of those backlog videos combined in that first month brought in $18.72. And around half of that was from one video, how to build a DIY TV gaming table, something I put out a long time ago and has consistently done well since it's been released. The video was viewed a total of 2,917 times. So that brought in $8.95, which is roughly $3.07 per 1,000 views. And then the next highest video after that was a review of a book called Dragon Delves, which within that time period was viewed a total of 1,322 times and brought in an estimated revenue of $4.30. or about $3.25 per 1,000 views. You have to keep in mind that was a $50 book, so that was technically about a $46 loss. However, that Dragon Tales review is what really put me over the edge of those 4,000 hours, so in the end it ended up being a really great investment. The first video I uploaded post-monetization was Make Your Own Daggerheart Fear Tracker, which was another build video for a new game system called Daggerheart. It performed decently. Within the time period, it was watched 1,115 times and brought in a revenue of $3.44. And the cost of materials for this video were probably roughly around $15. So again, another loss technically, but you have to remember that this is a bit of a snowball effect. And also, you're always uploading videos because you never know how each will perform. Speaking of which, this next one is by far the one that performed the best. This was a video called Paladin versus 20 Vecna Cultists. It was a parody of a Jubilee video, and I was hoping that it would perform pretty well since it was based off of something else that had gone viral. It was my own take on it, and it was very slow to start in its view count. Over the first few days, it got like maybe 100 or so views. So I was really feeling like it was a failure. And then out of nowhere, you see this huge spike, and it became very quickly my most viewed video on my channel. It ended up bringing in, within that time period, over 2,700 new subscribers. And as you can see here, the revenue for the 248,204 times it was viewed was $468 $4.06. You can see that this has a very low RPM, $1.89, compared to some of my other videos that brought in a little bit more. But you know, I don't understand how things work, although I do know that shorter videos tend to not get as much ad revenue because you don't have as many slots to place those ads. You know, $468 for close to 250,000 views. That may or may not be what you might expect. You might expect higher, you might expect lower, but that's what it was. Now, my next video was reacting to comments from the Paladin versus Cultist video. It was watched 12,940 times during that time period, and it brought in a total revenue of $18.48, or around $1.43 per thousand views. It's very interesting to see how much it can vary wildly just between videos on the same channel. My next video was a first look at something called Foundryborne, which is a fan-made module for a virtual tabletop. Some of this might sound gibberish to you if you are not with the tabletop role-playing space, but you can think of it as another review. It was watched a total of 3,559 times, and it brought in $8.06, or around $2.27 per thousand views. And the last video I uploaded in this time period was another skit video, kind of in the same tone as the Paladin versus 20 Vecna Cultist video. However, this video did not do as well, probably because it wasn't recognizable as a Jubilee parody. It did have a very similar tone and quality and effort, but it was only viewed 309 times, which brought in a total of 55 cents. And this really shows how wildly your ad revenue can vary. You never know how well a video is going to pop off or if it's gonna flop. You're always kind of at the whims of the algorithm, and it is what it is. So, with all of those videos added together, how much did I make my first month of monetization? Well, drumroll please. YouTube paid me a total of $517.32. This is not a real check, by the way. This is just a prop for the dramatic reveal. If I actually try to deposit this, I'm sure I would be arrested for wire fraud. So, but yeah, so what does this all mean? Ultimately, you can make money off of YouTube. It is possible, but it also shows that YouTubers may or may not be making as much as you might think. I think this shows how important it is for creators to branch out into other forms of income, into things like channel memberships or merchandise or sponsorships or Patreon. It gives them a more dependable revenue stream than AdSense, which can wildly fluctuate, and it allows them to turn their passion into a full-time career. And I'm not saying that to like plug myself or anything. I don't currently have a Patreon, but I think I can speak for other creators in saying when you do support them, it is very much appreciated. And speaking of support, I just want to say thank you to everybody who does tune into my videos and watch them all the way to the end. It really is incredible, the support that you've given me, and you have helped this channel grow, and it's because of you that I'm able to take something that I love and earn money from it, which I honestly never thought would be possible. So thank you so much. If you have any kinds of questions about content creation or anything like that, let me know and I'll do my best to help or answer any questions you might have. And until next time, thanks for watching, and as always, may your day be a critical success.